I've been asked if God could merely be a function of the brain. And I'm presuming from the question that this person believes that if you can show God belief comes from the brain, then therefore there is no God, or it's not rational to believe in him.
No, I don't think that's the point of the question at all. Rather, I think it is intended to point out that if it were shown that not just belief in a god, but also spiritual experiences attributed to a god were neurological occurrences, then it would be simpler to explain them as originating in the brain rather than being caused by a supernatural entity. Sensory stimuli caused by occurrences outside of the brain can be consistently observed by other people and recorded by instruments. When a person feels the presence of the Holy Spirit or some such thing, it's not like feeling warmth. If you feel warmth, other folks can pretty consistently feel it too, and it can be shown on a thermometer. That's why it's reasonable to infer that the experience of warmth is triggered by something outside of the brain. However, since spiritual experiences can't be as clearly corroborated, it is less parsimonious to infer that they are triggered by an actual interaction with a god than to infer that they are something the brain is doing on its own. Now, of course, the fact that you can't objectively corroborate such an experience doesn't mean that a god isn't talking to you or whatever, but it does mean that divine revelation is not the simplest explanation.
And it seems there are at least two missteps in thinking here. And the first is this. This type of reasoning confuses the biology of belief with the reasons for belief. Yes, there might be certain neurobiological things going on in your brain when you think about God, but that doesn't mean there aren't good reasons to believe God exists that are completely independent of your brain function.
I suspect that this question may be aimed at people like William Lane Craig, who say that their experiences of the presence of the Holy Spirit is the strongest source of their belief. I question whether Craig would be willing to even entertain the possibility that such experiences are merely psychological rather than supernatural. Even if there were objective reasons to believe in a god, folks like Craig place less of a priority on those.
But here's the second problem. Even if there is some kind of hardwiring in our brain that leads us to believe in God, how is this an argument against God's existence?
If the brain is causing such belief, then positing the existence of a god is superfluous to explaining that belief. It's not an argument that a god does not exist. It's just an argument that a god is not a necessary or even the best explanation for belief in a god.
If anything, this could be evidence for God, right? I mean, if there's a God and he made us, he could have made us with a biological predisposition to believe in him.
But wouldn't that mean that we don't have the free will, or at least don't have complete free will to choose whether we believe in him or not? I don't believe in free will myself, but this is the explanation I sometimes hear from apologists for why Yahweh didn't just make everybody believe in him if that's what he wanted. If Yahweh wanted people to freely choose whether to believe in him or not, why would he put his thumb on the scale by giving us an innate predisposition to believe in him?